There are some things that make me angry. Basically, this is a video of things that just make me fed up and I think need to be said that I think people are too nice to say. Right now, what I have is 5 reasons why you're not making anything, why you have skills and talents and gear and equipment, whatever, and you're still not making stuff. Here we go. Reason number 1. You are lost in a lack of structure. Your desktop has a billion icons, a billion folders, and they're all named really stupid things, and you just can't be organized. Organization is not a bad thing. You shouldn't have an allergic reaction to the word structure. You should make a structure. If you don't have a structure, you don't have a project. You need efficiency. So spend the time to make a system for yourself that's efficient. Start with a file structure. Make a file structure that a 6-year-old could follow so that you know where your footage is, you know where your sound effects are, you know where your assets are, you know where your B-roll is or where your stock footage is, so that when it comes time to put those things into a timeline, you're spending your time in the timeline, not searching through the same one folder of 6,000 videos. That's important. When you go down to make a timeline, you need to start big. Put your beginning, middle, and end in. Don't do anything else. Beginning, middle, and end. And then start to fill it in. Start at low resolution, 30,000 feet. Then go a tiny bit more detailed, and a tiny bit more detailed, and then a tiny bit more detailed. But if you start with details, you'll never finish. You'll get lost in the weeds of some color effect. Just save all that stuff for the end. This also applies when you're actually starting like a project of any kind. If you haven't done any pre-planning before the day you get there, then you have to think on your feet. You have to make a bunch of decisions in the moment that are going to stress you out and stress all the people you're out around with, because likely you're going to be the only one who knows how to solve those things, and everybody's going to be standing around waiting for you, twiddling their thumbs and being on their phones while you try to figure out why this cable doesn't fit this box or something. Like, you need to think about that stuff ahead of time. And here's the deal. You're not smart enough to. Nobody is. So you need to take your structure out of your brain and put it on a piece of paper. You need a task list. You need points that you can write down, get it out of your head, onto paper. This needs to be accomplished. This needs to be accomplished. This needs to be accomplished. It can be simple stuff. You need a second brain outside yourself that can take care of things so that when you're in the moment, your mind can be dedicated to what it should be, which is the project as a whole, not this intricate thing over here, or the green screen's not working right because I didn't actually get the light I needed, or this microphone is not working with this shot because I have the wrong cable. It's like, you can plan ahead, you can think it through, but you can't just do that in your head. You have to put it in a structure. You have to make a system before you can make a project. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Moving on. Number 2, you have too many people on your project, or you just have too much advice coming in. You have analysis paralysis. You have this idea and you like it, and instead of making something, you tell somebody else about it. And that person goes, oh, that's really cool, except I wonder if you did this. And you go, oh, actually, yeah, it's a good idea. And then you tell another person, and that person says, I don't really like that. And you go, oh, what do you not like about it? And then they add their input. And pretty soon you have 5 or 6 streams of input, no solutions, and no project, because you're constantly thinking about what would be better or what would be different. It's a never-ending cycle. It's just going to happen forever. You might need to not tell anybody. You might need to just get on your camera or by yourself and go do the thing. The biggest movies in the world have thousands of people working on them, and the thing they all have in common is that it takes like 5 years to make a movie. If it's just you, it only takes 2 hours to make a 2-hour movie. You just click record. Point number 3, your motivation sucks. The reason for making whatever you're making is for just a bad reason. We'll get more into this when we get to point number 5, but some of those bad reasons could be something like, you got a new camera and I want to make something with the new camera. But if your only motivation to make the new thing is because you have this cool new camera that you want to use, well, that thing you're making, you don't even care about it. All you care about is the camera. And when someone watches it, they're not going to know that you care about the camera. They're going to realize you don't care about what you're making. If you don't care about what you're making, you're not going to even want to make it, because as soon as you start looking at the footage, well, you've already finished your goal. Hey, I have cool footage from this camera, and you're not going to finish the project because you don't care about it. Point number 4, you're living in the future, and the future doesn't exist yet. It's the only thing in reality that isn't reality. It's not good or bad yet. It's not even there. All you have is right now in this moment. So if you're always planning or really just thinking about what it would be like to be a filmmaker, thinking about what it would be like to watch your project on a big screen, or thinking about what it would be like to fail and thinking about what it would be like if nobody showed up or those kind of things, well, all that will do is take this moment and destroy it. Because if you're doing all that in this moment, you can't be doing anything else in this moment. Live right now. It's all you've got. Make the project right now. What can you do with your time in this exact moment? You'll start to make things. You'll notice people who actually get a lot of projects done don't worry about the future. They're just like, what can I do right now? And they do it. All right, I have some honorable mentions for reasons you're not making anything. And this is just goes for anybody. And it's obvious, but it's you're not bored enough. You have a phone. You have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, whatever. And the moment you're bored, the exact moment you're bored, count it. See how long it takes. If it takes you even 2 seconds, when you're bored, you rip out your phone and you're mindlessly scrolling through nothing that you don't even like. That's time you could be doing something. That's time you could be getting bored or thinking or planning or getting out your task list and making something for it. But if every moment you're bored, and now you're not bored, you'll never have the motivation to do anything. Detox from your phone. Get that stuff that you love doing all the time. Get it away for a day, 2 days, a week, and you'll be shocked at how much you actually want to do something. Second honorable mention. Oh, I don't have the right gear. I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right microphone. Dude, that's just a stupid reason. Just get out your iPhone or your mom's iPhone or your iPad or your Android phone or your point and shoot camcorder and just make something. Like, just stop waiting, because here's what happens. The problem within that, and you just got to watch yourself and learn this, is that like I see myself and other people go, ooh, if I only had this thing. Then all of a sudden one day you have it and you're still not making stuff. It makes me think it's just an excuse. Because we're too nervous to make the thing right now, we wait for some kind of security in order to make it. And that security is not going to make you actually make it, because when you get to that, your target moves on to some other point of security. Oh, if I only had this. Ooh, if I only had that. If you don't make anything with the gear you have now, you don't deserve the gear that you don't have now. Use what you have, make something. All right. Lastly, the thing that's going to keep you from making things, probably the biggest thing that's going to keep you from being a person who outputs stuff constantly or consistently, is your own pride. If you're thinking too much about what people are going to think about you when this project comes out, that's a horrible motivation and it will suck the life out of your project. Just like I said earlier, if your project is a means to some other end other than itself, everybody's going to know that and your project will suffer. So if your project is a means to the end of you being cool or you being more interesting, man, everybody's going to know that and your project is going to suck. And also, you won't enjoy it because all you're looking to enjoy is how cool you are and what people think about you and how much better you are than the next guy doing this. That's all you had to enjoy, which means you're not going to love your art. You're not going to love your work. It will show. And it's not very long-lasting motivation, because as soon as you start to hit hiccups on this project and you start thinking, nobody's going to like this, or you're starting to compare it to other projects, you're looking at other people who did it better than you, well, you're not going to finish it. If you're thinking about yourself, you're not thinking about your project dies. Your pride is the biggest thing getting in the way of you making something. You have to be okay making garbage. You have to be absolutely okay if it comes out the other side and it's just a shiny turd. You got to be okay with that, because if you're not, you'll never make anything, because everybody's first thing is just that. It's garbage. Make some garbage, make some garbage, make some garbage, and then you'll make garbage that's a little bit better. And then after that, you'll make garbage that's a little bit better than that. Pretty soon you're making nice stuff. But if you have too much pride to make garbage, I'm sorry, you'll never make anything. Those are the things I think go unspoken about why you're not actually making things. I mean, honestly, we could talk about this for forever, but at the end of the day, I think you're the biggest problem. I think I'm the biggest problem for myself. If your problem for not making something is external, I would say check yourself. You're probably lying to yourself, and you're going to keep yourself from making the kinds of things you want to make and that we want you to make. We want you to make cool stuff. Please go out and do it. Just finish something. Every good movie has a director's cut because they don't get to do what they want. That's okay. If you don't have everything you want, get it out anyways. If you didn't have the exact right song, get it out anyways. If you don't have your exact right actor, get it out anyways. If you don't have the right pacing, get it out anyways. The right color, get it out anyways. The right camera, just get something out. If you never hit export, you're not a filmmaker. Peace.